been a trying time uh, with the COVID virus, and it was funny. It was yesterday. I was taking a nap, and I have my YouTube channel with an alarm. So if a YouTube video comes in, it will just pop right up, and I'll give it a listen. Most of the time, most of my YouTube videos that I follow, obviously besides Amy and Brooke, they're usually railroad videos. And so I thought, got a guy who does a lot of neat railroad videos of the Long Island Railroad and some other railroads on the East Coast where I grew up, and all of a sudden I heard my phone go, ding. Um, it was Amy trying to do a live chat. It now didn't quite work too well, and then that's fine, and for obvious reasons she had to kind of cut it short, and she took it down. That's live chats sometimes don't work, and I've certainly had some videos that just, it's like I just end up having to just hit the delete button, and I tried one last night, and it was like, nope, that ain't gonna work. So anyway, that said, uh, just some thoughts. What it must be like for butterflies on another episode of Brother Mark Turner Syndrome, Butterflies in Life. And I love the Turner Syndrome sister who said, it's kind of really feels kind of prophetic with everything going on with COVID, but I love what she said. And she says, talking about people not butterflies and talking to me, if you stub your toe, you might have a few choice words about it, but you'll get over it. But if we stub our toe, it's a Wagnerian crisis. And I mean, obviously there's some exaggeration, but obviously handling. I mean, some things that for some people they're stressful, but then I certainly know with a lot of other butterflies that stress can be magnified 100 times, and I can only imagine what it must feel like to be a butterfly in these times. I've seen some real encouragement and some real support. But Amy said something in passing that she said about the whole COVID situation that grabbed my attention. I forgot everything else. She said, I just wish things would go back to normal. And that comment just grabbed me and said, oh yeah. And I was just deeply moved by a Facebook post on social distance learning. Instead of not being able to go to the class, not being able to go to classrooms, trying to learn on Zoom, or going to classroom and not being able to talk to your classmates, and being having to wear masks and having to be in a plexiglass cube, and just for ordinary people who are mainstream, and the mainstream, that's got to be trying. But for anybody with any learning disability, that has got to be an absolute nightmare. And ironically enough, a couple of days ago, I wasn't quite awake when I first saw it, but there was a post by a Debbie Turner. And obviously, I was just getting out of bed, so I wasn't quite awake. Oh, that's a Turner Syndrome post. Okay. Not realizing it had nothing to do with Turner Syndrome. It's just a woman named by the name of Debbie Turner. And and she posted, and the post was actually August 24th by Joseph Chang. I've shared it on my Facebook page, or on our Facebook page, Turner Syndrome Butterfly Hall, which is just a few group of the butterflies and friends, and I just offer some support. But this one really grabbed everybody's attention, and I gotta admit, I don't have any kids and myself, but boy, this one hit me hard. And my heart just has to go out for a lot of butterfly moms and dads who, they have enough. They have enough challenges trying to raise their daughter and getting her acclimated into the school system and trying to develop appropriate action plans and accommodations. But this one was really sobering. I'd like to read and I'd like to share. From Facebook, distance learning is beyond bad. It's a total disaster. Children are crying because they can hear, but they can't see their classmates. They are crying because they can see, but not hear their teachers. They are crying because they raise their hands, but don't get called because their teacher can't see them. My second grader's teacher was on the verge. My second grader's teacher was on the verge of tears and ended her class early. My ninth grader was in tears and felt hopeless that she'd ever be able to learn anything. Distance learning isn't just no learning. And give me a moment. I think we've got a little competition. So, okay. We can't. I know some of you can't hear two sound sources. I want to read that paragraph again because I didn't catch this the first time around. This was actually a teacher. It said my second grader's teacher was on the verge of tears and ended her class early. My ninth grader was in tears and felt hopeless that she'd ever be able to learn anything. Distance learning isn't just no learning. It's actually emotionally harmful. No learning would be neutral. It's not even neutral. It's causing problems, creating more obstacles that will put children further behind. Distance learning is causing emotional harm and mental distress, a tragedy, that all in caps, for our students, teachers, and our parents. We must stop this now. I withdrew my kindergartner. Mom and I are teaching ourselves rather than subjected to this emotional trauma. And when I was reading that post, my heart just went out to the butterfly moms and dads. And then I've been reading what's happening in college campuses and just how college campuses across the country have been turned into virtual prisons. It's just like something right out of Animal Farm or 1984. If you've ever read anything by Orwell, it's freaky. You could not write a better episode of The Twilight Zone. This is just absolutely chilling. Yeah, I side with Amy. I don't have any answers. But obviously when moms and dads get together and share their experience, strengths, and hopes, when butterfly sisters get together and they're encouraging each other on, it's not the best solution, but at least there's support and encouragement. For me, it's been trying. My emotions are just all over the place. I confess I fly off the handle at just the most meager, irritation myself. And this has been this whole COVID situation and the mask mandates has just been an absolute mental health, just nightmare. Whether you're for it or against it, or just this whole stress. It's hard. I don't have any answers. Obviously, butterflies are reaching out, and of course, if somebody somebody knows me well, they could certainly hit me up and I still have some chats, and I still get those texts in the middle of the night. So, if you just genuinely want to check in, obviously I'm not playing the narcissistic abuse game now as I'm hip to it. I mean, if you want to be abusive or combative or argumentative, just click. No, not playing it, and nor should any of us. But those are just some thoughts and feelings. I don't have any magical answers, but the one thing I have seen though is at least when we're talking and supporting and praying for each other, that probably is going to mean more than anything to help us through what's a trying situation. So I had to kind of share my thoughts and feelings on the Facebook page because it hit me hard, and I hope some other people kind of feel the same way. Where do we go from here? I wish I knew. And sometimes I have to say, Lord, I don't have a clue. But let's do all we can to encourage each other, butterflies and friends, and keep those wings polished, and be Turner strong. And I'll talk to you next time.